7 million Americans are more than 90 days behind on their car loans, a number we haven't seen since the darkest days of the Great Recession. And this time, the situation is being fueled by something even more alarming. Certain car models are turning into complete financial disasters. Values are crashing so fast that experts warn some of these vehicles could be worth little more than scrap metal by 2026. We're talking about shocking collapses. A luxury SUV that sold for nearly $100,000 just last year is now being listed for around $35,000, a staggering loss in barely 12 months. Today, we're breaking down the 15 vehicles that went from showroom favorites to financial dead ends in record time. These are the cars that buyers deeply regret, dealers quietly avoid, and the used market wants nothing to do with. And if you happen to own one of these, well, I genuinely feel for you. Now let's start the countdown. Number 15. 2024 Tesla Cybertruck. The Cybertruck was supposed to be Elon Musk's futuristic masterpiece, a stainless steel icon that would appreciate in value, not collapse. Early buyers dreamed of flipping their trucks for profit, and for a brief moment, some actually did. In late 2023, Cybertrucks were reselling for $150,000, but the hype didn't last. Once Tesla ramped up production in 2024 and 2025, the market became overloaded. Suddenly, dealerships had a 3-month supply of unsold Cybertrucks collecting dust. Demand evaporated almost overnight. The result? A devastating 50% value crash. Owners who paid $100,000 for the Foundation series are now getting trade-in offers around $65,000 with just 6,000 miles, and one owner with 32,000 miles got a shocking $60,000 offer. A vehicle that was supposed to be a collectible turned into one of the fastest depreciating trucks of the decade. Number 14. 2024 Infiniti QX80. The QX80's downfall is simple. It's a luxury SUV built on a platform from 2011, and it feels like it. The underpinnings are essentially a Nissan Patrol with leather seats slapped on top. For a vehicle costing $75,000 new, a 50% drop means owners lost $37,500 in under 2 years. Dealers themselves admit this SUV is outdated. One used QX80 sold for 46% less after only 2 years, and the dealer called that competitive. Not exactly confidence boosting. Buyers know an all-new QX80 is coming soon, so nobody wants the outgoing dinosaur. With gas prices unstable and a thirsty V8 engine, the resale market is brutal. After 5 years, the QX80 keeps only 1/3 of its original value. Half of that loss happens almost immediately. Number 13. 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQB. Mercedes' compact electric SUV has suffered a collapse so sharp it shocked the industry. The EQB has plunged 50% from its $55,000 price tag, wiping out $27,500 in value, fast. The problem started when Mercedes overproduced its entire EQ lineup. Dealers were drowning in EV inventory and began offering $10,000 to $11,000 discounts on brand new models. When new cars become that cheap, used ones don't stand a chance. The EQB wasn't designed to be an EV from the start. It's a gas-powered GLB with batteries squeezed in. That means mediocre range, tight packaging, and high weight. Worse, it didn't qualify for US tax credits, so lease incentives exploded. When those leases ended, the market was flooded with thousands of nearly new EQBs, all competing for buyers who weren't even looking. Number 12. 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Jeep's 3-row SUV should have been a hit, but then the reliability ratings came out. Consumer Reports ranked the Grand Cherokee among the least reliable vehicles of 2025, and the resale values tanked instantly. The depreciation is brutal. A 51% loss from its original $54,852 price, wiping out around $28,000. But the horror stories are worse. One Michigan couple is suing Stellantis because their brand new Grand Cherokee 4xe became completely undrivable. During their 39-month lease, the SUV spent 8 full months in the shop. Stellantis eventually recalled more than 91,000 Grand Cherokee 4xe models for random power loss. But by then, the damage to the brand was irreversible. Buyers started avoiding it, and resale collapsed. Number 11. 2024 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Alfa Romeo builds some of the best-looking SUVs money can buy. But beauty hasn't saved the Stelvio from catastrophic depreciation. This SUV loses 52% of its $46,500 value, and in some cases, even more. One practically new Stelvio Veloce with just 274 miles sold at auction for $32,500, nearly 40% off its MSRP. And Alfa dealers rarely sell these at full sticker price anyway, thanks to constant rebates, low-interest leases, and inventory overload. Alfa's biggest issue is reputation. It ranks near the bottom of reliability surveys year after year. The brand has limited dealerships, low awareness, and a small buyer base. After 3 years, a Stelvio typically retains just 37 to 39% of its original value. Gorgeous? Yes. Financially painful? Also yes. Number 10. 2024 Polestar 2. This car was supposed to be the clean, minimalist Scandinavian rival to Tesla, a stylish EV with premium design and smart engineering. But instead of becoming a breakout success, it turned into one of the biggest depreciation disasters in the electric vehicle market, losing 53% of its original $50,000 value in just a few years. The downfall really started with Hertz. They made headlines by announcing plans to buy up to 65,000 Polestar 2s for their rental fleet. But when EV prices crashed across the industry, Hertz bailed out fast. They dumped thousands of nearly new Polestar 2s onto the used market at bargain bin prices, completely destroying resale value overnight. No used market can survive a tidal wave like that. But Polestar had other problems too. The brand identity is confusing. Most buyers still don't know whether Polestar is a high-end Volvo project, a Chinese EV startup, or some kind of luxury performance brand. That uncertainty kills demand. Add in the fact that Polestar has very few service centers, and a lot of shoppers simply don't feel comfortable buying one long-term. And the result? Cars that originally sold for $55,000 to $60,000 in 2021 and 2022 are now struggling to sell in the low 30,000s. A beautiful EV with great potential, dragged down by market chaos and a brand that still hasn't defined itself. Number 9. 2024 Audi e-tron SUV. When Audi launched its first full-size electric SUV, expectations were sky-high. This was supposed to be the German luxury alternative to Tesla, quiet, refined, and built with classic Audi engineering. But beneath that premium design was one fatal flaw: terrible efficiency. In real-world winter driving, owners reported ranges closer to 180 miles, sometimes even less. And for a heavy luxury SUV, that meant constant charging, higher electricity bills, and a driving experience that felt more stressful than convenient. As word spread, values began to slide, fast. The first-generation e-tron ended up losing 54% of its original $70,000 price tag, one of the worst depreciation drops in the premium EV space. And then came the knockout punch. Audi released the Q8 e-tron, basically a heavily improved version of the same vehicle but with far better range and updated tech. Overnight, the old e-tron became outdated, unwanted, and nearly impossible to justify on the used market. Owners felt that impact immediately. One buyer who paid $84,000 for their e-tron was shocked when the dealership offered just $40,000 as a trade-in within the first year. The message couldn't have been clearer. The market had already moved on. And in the world of EVs, once you fall behind, you fall hard. Number 8. 2024 Nissan Ariya. This was supposed to be Nissan's big comeback in the EV world after the Leaf. Stylish design, a futuristic interior, and solid tech made the Ariya look like a real competitor on paper. But the resale market had other plans. Because the Ariya is built in Japan, it didn't qualify for the US federal EV tax credit, instantly making it thousands of dollars more expensive than rivals built in North America. For many buyers, that alone made it a tough sell. And once the market smelled weakness, depreciation hit like a hammer, a 54% drop from its original $52,000 price. But things got even worse when Nissan quietly confirmed the Ariya would be discontinued in the US. Almost overnight, used values collapsed. Nobody wants to buy an EV with an uncertain future, especially one from a brand not known for long-range battery leadership. The numbers are brutal. A $48,500 Ariya resold for just $22,300 after a single year. And the high-end $63,700 Platinum Plus? Today it's popping up on used listings for $29,900, a staggering 53% loss even for top trim models. For an EV that started with so much promise, the Ariya became one of the harshest depreciation stories in the entire electric SUV market. Number 7. 2023 Lucid Air. When Lucid first unveiled the Air, it looked like the future of electric luxury. Record-breaking range, beautiful design, and performance numbers that put Tesla on notice. And to its credit, the car itself delivered. The real problem wasn't the product, it was the company behind it. Lucid has been burning through cash at an alarming rate, struggling to scale production, missing sales targets, and constantly fighting off bankruptcy rumors. For buyers spending over six figures, that uncertainty is a deal breaker. Nobody wants to own a $100,000 car from a brand that might disappear, leaving them with no parts, no service, and no long-term support. So resale values tanked hard. The Lucid Air has crashed 55% from its original $120,000 price tag, making it one of the fastest depreciating luxury EVs ever made. The numbers are brutal. One 2023 Air that originally stickered at $155,000 sold just a year later for $68,000. That's an $86,500 loss in 12 months. And it's not an isolated case. Some lightly used models are now dipping below $50,000, meaning you can buy a nearly new luxury EV for the price of a base model Toyota. It's a sad reality for a brilliant car trapped in a fragile company. And the next one on this list shows that even giants of the industry aren't safe from total value collapse. Number 6. 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQE. This one shocked a lot of people. The EQE was marketed as the electric successor to the legendary E-Class, a car known for comfort, refinement, and long-term durability. But when buyers finally got behind the wheel, the experience didn't match the Mercedes badge. The interior felt tighter than expected, the seating position was awkward, and the cabin didn't deliver that classic Mercedes luxury. Then came the real disappointment. A mediocre driving range, slow charging speeds, and software glitches that frustrated owners from day one. Those problems hit the resale market like a hammer. The EQE has already lost 56% of its original $76,000 price, making it one of the fastest depreciating Mercedes models ever. And the damage didn't stop there. Mercedes pushed massive lease incentives to move inventory. And 2 years later, thousands of those lease returns all hit the used market at the same time. When supply floods the market, values collapse, and the EQE became the poster child for oversupply gone wrong. Today, barely used EQEs are selling for prices you'd expect on a basic compact sedan. For a car that was supposed to represent the future of Mercedes luxury, the resale reality has been absolutely brutal. Number 5. 2024 Volkswagen ID4. Volkswagen hyped the ID4 as the EV for everyone, the affordable, practical electric SUV that would bring millions of drivers into the EV world. And on paper, it looked promising. Good space, decent range, and a trusted global brand. But the moment buyers started using it every day, one flaw overshadowed everything: the infotainment system. It's slow, glitchy, confusing to navigate, and often freezes at the worst moments. Owners complained that something as simple as adjusting the temperature or switching between apps felt like fighting with laggy software from a decade ago. And that problem alone might have been manageable. But the market forces around the ID4 turned it into a perfect storm. Volkswagen massively overproduced the model, pushing thousands of units into dealerships. Then came aggressive discounts just to keep them moving. When new models get discounted heavily, used ones sink even faster. And to make matters worse, Tesla kept slashing prices on the Model Y, making the ID4 look outdated and overpriced overnight. As a result, the ID4 has lost 56% of its value since launch, one of the steepest drops in the EV market. Many buyers later admitted the same thing. The ID4 wasn't their first choice. It was simply the EV they settled for, and the resale market punished it for that. Number 4. 2024 Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf was once the face of the electric revolution, the first mass-market EV, the car that proved electric transportation could actually work for everyday people. But fast forward to today, and that pioneer is now painfully outdated. While every modern EV has moved to liquid-cooled battery systems, the Leaf is still stuck with no active thermal management at all. That means in hot climates, the battery literally cooks itself. Owners report losing noticeable range within just a couple of summers. Road tripping? Practically impossible. The battery overheats after multiple fast charges, forcing the car into turtle mode where speeds drop dramatically. All of this has hammered its resale value. The Leaf suffers a massive 58% depreciation, and now Nissan has confirmed it's ending Leaf production entirely. The moment that announcement hit, resale values collapsed even harder. Used car lots don't want them, private buyers are nervous, and long-term reliability is a major question mark. What was once a historic EV pioneer has now become one of the fastest depreciating electric cars on the road, fading out as the rest of the market moves on. Number 3. 2024 Cadillac Lyriq. The Cadillac Lyriq was supposed to be GM's big comeback, the EV that would finally put them back on the luxury map. On paper, it had everything going for it: sleek styling, futuristic lighting, a giant 33-inch display, and GM's new Ultium battery platform. At launch, demand was sky high. Dealers had waiting lists, and early buyers believed they were getting America's answer to Tesla. But reality hit hard, and fast. The Lyriq has now become one of the steepest depreciating electric SUVs in the luxury segment, losing 62% of its value in under 2 years. Models that sold for $70,000 to $80,000 new are now showing up on used lots for $28,000 to $32,000, and that freefall shows no signs of slowing down. So what caused such a dramatic collapse? First, production delays and software issues severely damaged early buyer confidence. Many Lyriq owners reported glitchy infotainment, sudden screen blackouts, driver assist malfunctions, and charging bugs that required dealership resets. GM pushed software updates, but the damage to the brand had already been done, especially in a market where Tesla updates instantly over the air. The next issue was build quality. Despite looking premium from a distance, many owners reported panel gaps, rattles, cheap interior plastics, and early wear on trims and buttons. Luxury shoppers expect perfection, and the Lyriq simply didn't deliver the level of refinement people associate with a flagship Cadillac. Then came the oversupply problem. GM dramatically ramped up production just as demand for EVs began cooling across the US. Suddenly, dealerships were sitting on rows of brand new Lyriqs they couldn't move, so they started cutting prices. In some regions, GM offered incentives as high as $10,000 off, instantly vaporizing used values nationwide. Once new models become that cheap, used ones have nowhere to go but down. Number 2. 2024 BMW i7. The BMW i7 was supposed to be the ultimate luxury EV sedan, the electric counterpart to the legendary 7 Series. It arrived with a cinematic rear theater screen, massaging seats, insane ambient lighting, and whisper-quiet electric power. But despite all that tech, the i7 has turned into one of the fastest depreciating luxury sedans currently on the market. And the numbers tell a painful story. The i7 loses nearly 65% of its value in under 2 years. Models that originally sold for $125,000 are now showing up at auctions and dealer lots in the low $50,000, and some high-mileage ones are dipping even lower. For a brand new flagship BMW, that kind of plunge is almost unheard of. So what went wrong? First, the EV luxury market shifted fast. Buyers who once wanted big, heavy luxury EVs are now gravitating toward more efficient models, or abandoning EVs altogether due to charging frustration. The i7 suffers from slow real-world charging, especially in cold weather, and compared to rivals like Tesla's supercharger network, public charging for the i7 can be frustrating, unpredictable, and inconvenient. Then there's the size and weight. The i7 is massive, nearly 6,000 pounds. That weight hurts efficiency, range, and even overall driving feel. While BMW tuned it well, you can still feel the bulk, and many buyers say it lacks the traditional sporty BMW character they expected. Add in the fact that maintenance and repair costs for a flagship BMW EV are sky high, and long-term ownership becomes intimidating. But the biggest blow came from BMW's own pricing strategy. Dealerships began offering huge lease incentives, some as high as $10,000 to $15,000 off. Once new models became dramatically cheaper, used values collapsed overnight. And because many of those cars are now coming off leases all at once, the market is suddenly flooded with nearly identical i7s competing for a shrinking pool of buyers. Number 1. 2023 to 2024 Toyota Mirai. At the very top of the depreciation list sits a car that was once marketed as the future of clean transportation, but has now become its biggest cautionary tale. The 2023 to 2024 Toyota Mirai is officially the worst depreciating vehicle in the United States, losing a staggering 77% of its value, and in some cases even more. This is a car that originally sold for around $64,000, yet today, nearly new examples can be found for $7,000 to $10,000. The kind of prices you'd expect from a worn-out economy car, not a futuristic hydrogen luxury sedan. So what went wrong? The answer is simple. Hydrogen collapsed. California, the only place where the Mirai is even usable, has seen hydrogen stations shut down one after another. Fuel shortages, broken pumps, rising hydrogen prices, and failing infrastructure have left many owners stranded both literally and financially. Some stations are offline for weeks, others have closed permanently, and the remaining ones frequently have lines or supply issues. Without fuel, the Mirai becomes nothing more than an expensive driveway ornament. Dealers know this, which is why many refuse to take Mirais on trade-ins altogether. Owners have reported being offered as little as $1,000 for a vehicle they bought just a year earlier. Some dealers won't even accept them for free because they know they can't resell them. The used car market has essentially collapsed, and buyers stay away because they simply have nowhere to refuel. From the Cybertruck's broken promises to the Mirai's dead-end technology, these cars prove one thing: new doesn't always mean valuable, and expensive doesn't always mean smart. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.